All right, Shalom. This is Harold One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakak Dash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and in truth. All right. Hold on, let's get the scripture together. That's right. All right, let me get these precepts, man. Today we're gonna get into this topic dealing with Trump's policies. You know, the policies of this place called Babylon, and how they're basically shooting themselves in their own foot, like somebody sitting on the edge of a tree, and cutting the branch off while they're on the branch. All right, or getting it, um, marching forward in strength to conquer, but having their foot caught in the snare on the earth. All right, let me get this precept. It's like, all right, so I want to speak on something that I noticed um, this week, dealing with everybody's, well, I don't say everybody, but all these countries, world leaders pushing this peace initiative. It's like everybody has their version of pushing P, but they pushing peace, right? But it seems like every time they talk about peace, nothing but destruction comes. You know, matter of fact, here you go, because they're using worldly wisdom and what's it called, foolishness as their guide, as their advisors, their military advisors, their military industrial complex that pushes a lot of these wars, which finance a lot of these companies. Right, where there's war, there's money. Um, this is First Corinthians 3:19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. For it is written, He have taken the wise in their own craftiness, man. All right, so all their plans to bring a new world order, peace in the world, peace through strength, but that strength takes a lot of people's lives, causes a lot of chaos in the world. Order I have KO. So how can they have peace on earth through strength? Meaning putting everybody in fear, like World War II, when Babylon got involved. Um, you know who I mean when I say Babylon. Got involved in the war in World War II. They brought in the nukes. They dawned something called the nuclear age, which caused all these countries like Russia, China to begin to retrieve nuclear deterrence. And a deterrent. I'll show you what a deterrent. There you go. A deterrent. It says a thing that discourages or is intended to discourage someone from doing something. All right, and that's what America has. America has deterrence, just like Russia, and these are those huge nukes to keep them from you know, really attacking each other with tactical nukes, et cetera, et cetera. So they got the bigger nukes. That's what America has. All right. One second, let me pause this so I can put my back. All right. So in this world, it's like, strength. Whoever seems the strongest in deterrence, they're the ones that have the power. All right. The strongest dollar, et cetera, et cetera. And that's why you heard Trump saying recently, right here, I'm gonna show you. Hold up. He said this. I don't want to pull up no videos. Hold on. It says opinion how Trump. No, where is it at? All right, that's a good one. I'll bring it here. All right. It says the U.S. dollar will remain king. Trump says. I heard him say it in an interview, in a meeting. U.S. president repeats threat to impose tariffs on BRICS countries, man, which is basically like a tax. All right, it was a financial war. So if you think about it, World War III has already begun because this is not the same type of war as World War II, where they just come out with guns blazing. Doo, 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 doo. No, they go into war in different ways through proxies. They got proxy wars like Russia and Ukraine, Israel, Iran. Now they got Thailand and Cambodia, India. I think it was Pakistan. All these are proxy wars, right? These Arab nations going against Iran, going against et cetera, et cetera. So their peace through strength initiative is ultimately going to bring their own demise, uh, self-inflicted demise. All right, the U.S. dollar will remain king, Trump says. Well, let's see what the Lord says about that. Let's see. It's Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust. All right. So, sit in, let me show you. It just basically means obscurity. It says, sit in the dust. And the dust just means not only confusion, but just, it says this obscurity or inconspicuous, the state of being unknown or unimportant. All right. So that's this place America now. They want to be the dominant force and the important one, right? But now the Lord's saying, nah, there's no uh, sit in the dust, man. You're gonna be this place. I'm trying to watch what I say with the damn YouTube, man. But it's basically gonna be brought to poverty, like a third world country, and they're gonna lose their power dominance in the world, lose the dollar dominance, military dominance, etc. We're watching the power get stripped away before the Most High issues his judgment and final blow. All right. So before he destroys a nation or an age, he'll bring that nation down first with plagues. All right, and the Most High show his own strength that way. Now, where was I at? This one, no, this one. So the U.S. dollar will remain king. Well, let's read it. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. And as is the mother, so is the daughter. So ancient Babylon was a business and idol worshiping country, and it also had us in servitude. Well, this is a reflection of ancient Babylon, known for its business and idol worship. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. You know, so sitting on the ground is like a country that's going to be in need of help, powerless. All right, not royalty. You got to sit low like a third world country, and that's what Trump is fighting to keep it from being. They say we're going to remain on top. We're going to keep it that way. The U.S. dollar will remain king, says Trump. See that? The President Donald Trump on Tuesday said the U.S. dollar will retain its status as the world's reserve currency despite its decline this year. See, it's the Most High that controls. Um, see, He's not saying if the Lord will, we would do this or that, or this will happen or that will happen. If it be Yahweh's will, but He's saying, nah, it's gonna happen. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee. It says, sit on the ground. There is no throne. The throne meaning no more dominance in the world, no more rulership. O daughter of the Chaldees, which is a branch of the banking elites over there in the UK or Europe. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. All right. So something tender and delicate, you'll take care of it. Treat it precious, treat it in what important. But the Lord said, nah, get thou into the dust, into the darkness. Go sit in the corner. All right. And fear. So check this out. So my focus is this peace initiative that they're doing. I was just thinking, I was like, damn, all these countries, all of a sudden they talking about we're gonna bring peace. We want peace. We want peace in the world. Peace. Russia talking about peace, but they're going to war. Everybody showing the examples that they're following after America. All right, since World War II. How did it happen? Let's get that. 1 second. Get this real quick. All right, so here it is. It says here, Revelations 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast or another kingdom coming up out of the earth. All right, so upon this earth, there was another kingdom being established called what? America. All right, and he had two horns like a lamb, so two political uh, sides or stances. One is Republican, one Democrat, and through this separation, wars are fought. Like Republicans might want war, the Democrats uh, might want war. So whichever side will push it on the other side. Like say from Trump in office, the other side may push for a war, allegedly, just to make the person in office look bad. All right, so they both pushing towards the same destiny, which is the demise of this place. All right, so that's what Democratic and Republican, that division is going to always keep that separation in this place. All right, divide and conquer. Satan divided against Satan. Right. Um, Now it says, and he spake as a dragon. So they pushing all the policies or puppeting, parroting all the policies from Europe, those draconian measures. New World Order, okay, they're bringing it about, establishing it right here in America. All right. And he exercised of all the power of the first beast before him. So just like he's using all the resources and power he can, the financial resources of Europe, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Talking about the Roman Empire. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven and on the earth in the sight of men. All right. So I'm gonna stop there. So that's talking about the introduction of America into World War II, and they brought down the nukes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which put fear into these other nations as a deterrent. So they showed their strength, right? A show of strength, which allegedly brought on deterrence, which as they were hoping it would bring about peace through fear and through war. All right, but they're not set up to bring peace. There's only one that's set up to bring peace, and his name is the King of Peace. You know, hold get some. He was known as the Prince of Peace. Now it says Hebrews 7:2, to whom also Abraham gave tenth part of all, first being by interpretation, just talking about Yahushua, king of righteousness, and after that also king of Shalom, which is Salem, which is another word for saying peace, which is king of peace. See? So who's the king of peace? The same one that's the prince. Get this real quick. Where's that? There you go. Isaiah 9:6. Unto us a child is born. And who is that? Yahushua. Right? He's the one that's going to bring the peace through strength. All right? Get a descriptive image. You see, this is just a the depiction. But Yahushua of the tribe of Judah, the king of peace, is going to bring peace on earth between the children of Israel and the Father Yahweh. He's the mediator, bringing peace, bringing peace on earth through um, judgment and wrath that he's bringing of the Father. He's going to cause peace to be on earth. Okay, the world shall study. Let's get that. Damn, that's deep. That's right. All right, I'm gonna bring it out right after this one. Matter of fact, because this is deep right here. Um, kind. Let's go to Isaiah 9:6 first. It says, "For unto us a child is born." So he's stands for us first, for the children of Israel. He's born unto us, and unto us a son is given from Yahweh. Yahweh gave us Yahweh Shai, and the government, the elect of Israel, that he's going to reestablish on his earth, shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, the Mighty Power. All right, because he's a power himself. If you read the book of John, first chapter, the everlasting authority. It says Father there, but Yahweh Shai is not the well. Spiritually, he has become a father in the sense, establishing the children in the spirit. All right, the authority, the Prince of Peace. Whoa, so he's the Prince of Peace. All right, and that's what Trump trying to be. They call it the Nobel Peace Prize. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment. So all the little beefs and disagreement, wars and rumors of wars, these entanglements these country has, these misunderstandings that they have amongst each other, they're gonna drop all of that because when Yahweh Shai is on this earth, he's gonna make all the paths straight, clear up any confusion that's on the earth, man. All right, and that's what Trump claimed to be doing, Putin claimed to be doing, and they can't do it. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment. See, and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this. Right? So there will be no peace unless Yahweh Shai brings it. But you got Trump claiming to bring peace through strength. All right. That goes back to Ronald Reagan. All right, that's a Reagan policy. All right. Isaiah 2 and 4. 2 and 3, I think. Let me see. Yeah, 2 and 3, because there's gonna be peace on earth once the Lord establishes Israel. All right. Verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain or government that we just read about, the government that's going to be upon Yahweh's shoulders, that He carrying us. That I got my city on my back. That's what Jake say. That the moment that the mountain or government of Yahweh's house shall be established, the tabernacle of David, in the top of the mountains, like over these other nations, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all the nations shall flow unto it. Why? Because when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. When the righteous are in authority, things get better. The people rejoice. So there's no peace while the wicked are in authority. All right, because they're using worldly wisdom and foolishness. Precepts flying through my mind right now. So I can't get there. All right. There you go. Sirach 10 and 7. Pride is hateful before Yahweh and man, and by both doeth one commit iniquity. All right, or the wars and destruction in the world. Because of unrighteous dealings, man. All right, what they're doing in the world is unrighteous. When Yahweh Shai brings his judgment, he's the king, the prince of righteousness, king of righteousness, man. Righteous judgment. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries from war, and where there's basic crimes. All right, if you look up in the law, with there's no injury, there's no crime. All right, it's supposed to be. So if you steal something from somebody, you kind of injured them. If you get what I'm saying. And riches got by deceit, man. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right. So through unrighteous dealings, wars, criminal activity, riches gotten by deceit, this kingdom is passed from one people to another. So it's not really peace going on. It's just taking of different demographics of the earth. All right. So let's go here. It says this, verse 3. No, verse 2, it says, Isaiah 2 and 2. And they shall what? It shall be established in the top of the mountains over the other kingdoms, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, the government of Yahweh, to the house of Yahweh, the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. See, that's when the nation is going to have peace, when they follow the ways of the Most High and his laws. and be put in servitude and subjection. All right, they got to be controlled. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. And he, talking about Yahweh Shai, he shall judge among the nations, man. I mean, clearing out all of the confusion in the earth, and the injuries and the battles that's going on. The world shall study war no more. All right. He shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares. So all their war and tanks is going to be used to plow the fields and fix up the earth. All right. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares. All their war technology going to be broken down and made for agricultural uh, power tools, and their spears into pruning hooks, the missiles. All right, going to be made for farming tools. The same mindset that they put into building these nukes, they're going to have that mindset to build farming tools, at an advanced level. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. They're going to learn what? Peace. They're going to learn peace. Right now, they just building up their weaponry, deterrence. They don't know how to create peace, man. So through Yahushua and the Israelites, once they're established on this earth, that's when we'll see true peace on earth. All right. They shall learn war no more. So who is going to bring that peace? The King of Peace, Yahushua, not Trump. He's the king of Babylon, the king of confusion. This is Isaiah 48 and 22. All right. Let me go back now. There you go. Oops. There you go. Let's go here real quick. All right. It says America is fulfilling our destiny as peacemaker, but it is peace through strength. President Donald Trump. Now, where did he get this from? He said America is fulfilling its destiny as the peacemaker in the world. That is their destiny, man. It's going to show that they truly cannot bring peace. All right. They got this from Ronald Reagan. Here you go. See, Ronald Reagan in the 80s, he was the president around the time I was born. We maintain the peace through our strength. Weakness only invites aggression. Ronald Reagan. And that's a true statement. Weakness does invite aggression. But there's other ways to make peace with their foreign policies, right? But their foreign policy today is peace through strength, which is causing them to make moves such as this. Trump sends nukes to UK as Putin deadline looms. The US has sent nuclear weapons to British soil for the first time since 2008 with B6112 thermonuclear gravity bombs delivered. Whew. So now the UK has reclaimed the spot as a U.S. nuclear base, right? Because America doesn't really have the nukes established here in America, except for the I think up there in the north near Canada, right, or Alaska. But anyway, they set their nukes in other countries, all right, and those countries cannot use those nukes unless they get the green light from America. So they're just doing the same thing again, setting nukes in the UK. All right, we know it's gonna go nuclear, but Isaiah 48 and 22, there is no peace, saith Yahweh, unto the wicked, man. So there is no peace for the wicked. Look at this dude. He's like somebody from DC Follies. Y'all remember that? I don't know if a lot of people remember DC Follies. Look. DC Folly. DC, Washington DC, and they definitely in some damn folly. All right. So they following after the wisdom of this world, after their counselors and their advisors. DC Follies. President. What's his name? Ronald Reagan. Yeah, y'all remember this? This is called DC Follies, man. But they had the puppets up there. DC Follies, man. That was funny back in the day. Um, yep, he's starting to look just like it. Puppet. All right. So let me go back here. Where is it at? There you go. There you go. DC Follies 2025. Trump intensifies his 50-day ultimatum to Vladimir Putin. So he's basically speeding up their own demise, man. Putting pressure on a nuclear deterrent country like Russia, saying they got 50 days, which will lead them to around like mid-September, close to October, to or Russia might get struck by these nukes, man. And if that happens, it's over. It's over. They launch anything over there in that parameter of nukes. For the first time in over a decade, the U.S. has reportedly. All right, cool. I already read that. All right. This move was made despite protests against the decision to store the weapon, as reported by the UK Defense Journal. Okay, so I'm not gonna read too much of this. So that whole thing is what? Peace through strength. That's my focus. And that strength, look, this is what it's gonna lead to. It takes two to tango. Trump slams Putin, Zelensky. They can't create peace. Look, this is them bringing peace. This is what it's bringing. More division, more injuries, more confusion. This is their version of peace right here that was on the screen. There you go. It takes two to tango, man. With how can two walk together unless they be agreed? You know, one wants peace, the other is speaking smooth words, but war is in his heart. America, Russia, and these other nations, they were really like China. They were really pushing for peace, but Trump and his advisors and America, et cetera, they speak with smooth words, but war is ultimately in the hammer's heart, man. Everything what is a nail. All right. Let's go here. It says based on the information available as of July 22nd, 2025, Donald Trump's approach to foreign policy. This is from the AI overview. Donald Trump's approach to foreign policy, meaning how to deal with deal with nations, foreign nations. All right, that's called foreign policy, particularly concerning Russia and the conflict in Ukraine, can be understood through the phrase "peace through strength." That's what they see. That's what they're using right now. That policy, peace through strength, like a threat. A principle he often invokes, drawing comparisons to Ronald Reagan's approach to the Soviet Union. Same thing, man. All right. So they brought down the Soviet Union. Now the Soviet Union is trying to, Russia's trying to reestablish that Soviet Union. So that peace through strength initiative is causing actually war. All right. Yeah. Read this. The Lord said there will be no peace for the wicked, man. All right. This is Isaiah 47:10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, man. All the advisors, the military advisors. It ain't really the president, but it's their advisors behind them and the actual president, that push for wars and such. They say the Pentagon or the military industrial complex. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart and thy policies, I am and none else beside me. Therefore evil shall come upon thee. See? Because America, I'll say Babylon wants to be the dominant force in the earth. Talking about peace. No, you just want to be at the top. You know, let me see. That's right. I'm gonna get this real quick. They just want to be on top. Habakkuk 2:9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he through ill-gotten gain, through greed. That's what they call peace. Robbing, stealing, and unaliving people in the earth, other nations, through proxies. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, the house of the thief, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil, from any destruction. So they're trying to set their nest on high through ill-gotten gain in the earth, injuries, but they call that peace. That's why the Lord said the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. What they call peace is really war. What they call evil, what the world calls evil is really good. And what they call good is evil. Idol worship. This is Jeremiah 50:24. I have laid a snare for thee in the earth, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. That strength initiative, when they Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they weren't aware that that was setting the clock towards their own demise, the demise of this kingdom. O Babylon, and thou was not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh. Yahweh have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, those missiles, ICBMs, nukes. For this is the work of Yahweh, the power of all hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the uttermost borders, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing be left. I mean, they're gonna show the true bluff and weakness of this place once they begin to attack. All right. Um, here you go. Job 18:5. Yea, the light of the wicked. This is their light, their policy, their foreign policy, all of that. Look at this dude. The light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. You know, the light shall be dark in his tabernacle. That's why it said, get thee into dust. Yeah, all right. And his candle shall be put out with him. So not only their policies in the world, their beliefs, but them themselves also are going to be put out. All right, put out of rulership. Um, Meaning this current regime is not going to just fall like Esau going to fall and their policies remain. No, it's going to be that's going to be destroyed as well. Their way of thinking, peace through strength, but their strength is wickedness and foolishness. It's not righteous. They're just doing it through ill-gotten gain, covetousness. For he is cast into a net by his own feet. So that's talking about the prideful. So as you march forward to go hurt, I would say wrath worketh not the will of the Most High. They work in their own will. Man, anger. That's what the Lord said. Wrath is not made for man. Anger is not made for a man. Because through anger, they'll make they'll move in haste and make the wrong decision. Through greed, through envy, through pride, wanting to be the dominant. All right. So that snare, the jinn, for he is cast into a net by his own feet, by their own. They're on a war path, which is going to get them caught up eventually in the Lord's trap. And his own counsel shall cast him down. The fact that they want to bring all that destruction, I have become the destroyer of the earth. But that's what Oppenheimer said. Well, since you want to do that, that's your path. That's the path you're walking. Well, you casting yourself into it. Babylon has cast themselves into this net of being the peacekeeper. All right. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. That's why the Lord said, "Thou art found and also caught." The jinn, the trap. All right. Jinn is another word for trap. All right, something to trip you up. The jinn shall take him by the heel, man. All right. Something take you by the heel is going to trip you and knock you down. And the robber shall prevail against him. So when them nations show up, he said, "Thou shalt be for booties unto them now." All right. The snare is laid for him in the ground, meaning upon the earth. The Most High commanded it that this trap should be on the earth. And a trap for him in the way, right? The trap for the hunter. Also, Revelation 6, the rider upon the horse, there's a trap set for him. All right. The snare is laid for him in the ground, meaning upon the earth, and the trap for him in the way. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. This guy here, the president, will drive them to a stance of having to fight and defend themselves on their home front. His strength shall be hunger bitten. It's going to be weakened. It was what? His strength, show of strength, right? Peace through strength. So their strength, the deterrents are going to be hunger bitten, meaning weakened. And destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin. This, the way of living over here, the mirth of the land is gone. All right. Revelation said they shall burn her, they shall eat her flesh and cause her to be burned, stripping this place of that American dream. All right. Let me keep going. And it shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors, man. So the Lord gonna bring peace for the children of Israel, because he's gonna put terror on these nations. That's the peace through strength that he's gonna bring. America is fulfilling our destiny as peacemaker, but is peace through strength, not just peace through peace. They're trying to bring peace through strength, which is ultimately injury to others. All right. So now Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares and the sword. So right now it's the opposite. They're studying war. The Lord said the kingdom, they're going to do the opposite, beat their swords and the plowshares. And they're not going to study war no more. That's when the peace is going to be on the earth. But right now is war. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. They're going to bring the peace. See, it's a battle of who's going to bring the peace on the earth through strength. But it's Yahweh Shai. He's the king of peace. All right. So let the weak say they're strong. And they want to be the peacemakers. That's what Russia's claiming now. All right. Let me see. First Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night unexpectedly. Especially in the time where they're screaming out peace, they're gonna bring peace. People are like, okay, yeah, Trump gonna fix it. They're gonna agree eventually. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety. They're pushing P right now, right? Pushing peace. But their peace is through dominance and strength. And now they're having a battle of strength. So it can be the one that claimed to set the peace in the earth. A new world order. It's a battle over the peacemaker position. But that position is given to Yahweh Shai. Everywhere Esau's foot, scripture say he enlarges his desires as hell, man. So when they say they're bringing peace, they're really bringing hell on earth. For when they shall say peace and safety, hell and death, that's what they bring. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them. See, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Why? Because when they say peace and safety, they mean through strength, and it's ultimately going to bring about their own demise. You know, his own destruction. Because the weak, the one they believe to be weak, like Iran and Russia and them, they're saying they the strong ones now. They're saying they got the juice now. All right. So man, the deal, yeah, that peace through strength policy, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come. Why? Because they're pushing that strength initiative all the way from Ronald Reagan and the Soviet Union entanglement, you know, or or conflict, I should say. All right, just like that, they're pushing that same policy today, which is foreign policy of peace through strength, and it's not looking good. It's not looking like peace right now. It damn sure ain't looking like peace right now. It takes two to tango. All right, so with that, hopefully it's edifying with some clarity of the initiative that's being pushed right now is ultimately going to bring destruction. Because there can be no peace through strength except for through Yahweh Shai. Because he's the king of peace and the king of righteousness from Yahweh. With that, I'm going to say shalom.